for us and adults, not only in America, all over the
All
world,
over, yeah.
all over the world. Yeah, except the people of Gaza.
Alhamdulillah.
Because the war,
Yeah.
war. Yeah. But my sister, we just discussed the topic about some people, they think my way or the highway. Some
Yeah.
people, my way or the highway.
Yeah.
And some of that, not echo and this
The
become,
ego and the
and not only that, they go, my, me, my family, and I don't care about other
yeah.
people. We're going to speak
Absolutely.
about this, how to
Absolutely.
solve this problem, especially and the Eid is coming after 5 days. How to be Eid all the Muslim. Unfortunately, we heard we Friday, Thursday, we in Arafat, except Morocco and Nigeria.
Yeah.
No, one day before. We have to do something.
There's always has to be something.
Yeah, that the key also to people watching this, especially we are in America, at least we are a free country. We're not that Morocco, they have a king, and that can control everything.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to fix this problem.
It's amazing to see when you see.
Salam to everyone.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi. You did all the salams for me. I think when we talk about the ego and families and people, I think we forget that we're not meant to just think of ourselves, right? And dealing in the last couple of weeks, dealing with a family that I've been dealing with for a long time, and kind of getting the gist of what the problem is. It's all about the ego. Like, this person thinks that it's his way. This girl thinks it's her way, and the kids get stuck in between, thinking, who's right? I don't know who's right. I don't know who to listen to. I don't know who to follow. I don't know who's what. And I think that people lose that balance of listening to each other.
Yeah.
Right. And I think what ends up happening is when you lack that communication skill of listening, it's a very hard skill to learn.
Indeed.
It's not, you're not born as a good listener. You learn how to be a good listener and listen with intent, right? Not listening to answer.
Sorry to interrupt here. Actually, we learn this also, with my respect. Why? If I see my father or my mom when I grow up dealing with this kind, no problem, no echo, not my way or the highway. I grew up like this.
You learned it. You learned it from.
I'm learning.
Yeah, you're learning.
Yes.
And like I said, learning how to balance your ego is really a tough skill to understand if you don't have the right environment to learn it in. That's not something you learn in school. You don't go to school to learn.
That's
that's something that you learn at home.
This is very important, brother. School teaching my kids mathematics, chemistry, English. This is not adab, manners, and etiquette.
Yeah, mannerism is really, even for my own kids, I always say, like, okay, grades, yes, I get it. You want your kids to get good grades, but for me, it's mannerism. How are you acting on the outside?
Yeah.
Right. Don't walk out there not knowing how to be a man, and my daughter how to be a woman. Right. And so you teach them as they grow how to listen to what other people are saying.
True. Yeah.
So that way they can formulate a proper response in their heads. Right. And so what I've noticed is when you have a couple or family who has that lack of communication skill of listening, that's when all the problems happen.
It's very important talk. Lack of
listening
and communication. Lack with your husband, wife, son, and daughter. Give me attention. Son and the daughter, also the parent.
Yeah.
It's very important for the understand, listening. Brother Mohammed said, lack of communication and listening.
Absolutely. The moment you shut your ears, you have 2 ears for a reason, right?
I love that. You have 2 ears.
2 ears for a reason, right? You listen.
Yeah.
And then you keep your mouth shut. You think about what that person is saying. You really try to understand, because it's not just the words that people are using, right? It's not just the words. It's the tone.
Indeed.
Right. It's the way you're saying things. It's
how
the way
you announce it.
And so when you're just listening to fight back, you're not going to get anything out of it. And I've seen this so many times with couples.
Hold on, it's very important. Fight.
Yeah, because a lot of people, when they're listening, they just want to react.
Back.
They want to. They don't want to listen.
To me, they lose.
They lose.
Fight back. By the way, without wise statement, you lose.
Yeah.
Connected each other. You lose the fight. you lose what you want to give the message.
And it's funny because a lot of people will say, well, that's a woman problem.
No, I meant to.
And I laugh because I say, well, no, that's wrong. Men have that same problem.
Yeah, more actually, yeah.
Well, yeah, more.
When we go to the masjid, we see that in the masjid.
Well, we want to fight each other in the masjid.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And even right now, the temperature in the masjid are so hot. Everybody's hot because of what's happening. They want to do something, so we fight each other because we don't know how to.
Except Salat al-Dhuhr today. Salat al-Dhuhr, why?
Why?
Because I'm the only one in the masjid.
You can't fight yourself.
Actually, sister can volunteer cleaning the masjid. Oh, Jazak Ibrahim, Shaykh Ibrahim, thank you. Jazakallah khair.
So you have somebody with you. But you're right. It is a problem too with people not coming to the masjid when they're supposed to. But when you have that lack of communication, that lack of understanding, and you're not listening to the other person, honestly, when working with these people for the last couple of weeks and the last couple of years, I sit back and I listen to them as they fight across from me. And then when the second, third time I get in there, I say, okay, let's stop that argument. I want to hear what you say. Don't say nothing. I tell the guy, don't say nothing. Just listen for a second. Let's just hear what she's saying. She's going and going and going and going and going. And I can see him. It's a visual. You can see the man is ready to just attack.
Oh my Allah.
You see that. And I don't know if anybody here, I'm pretty sure everybody here knows somebody like this.
Some people,
not everybody. But I think we all know somebody that may have that attitude. And as he's ready to respond, I said, hold on, take a deep breath, focus. Do you remember what she said? Let's repeat what she said.
Oh,
let's repeat what she said. I asked the guy, let's repeat what she said.
That.
Guess what?
No,
he couldn't repeat.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God, brother is very important.
You see that?
You know what? This kind of argument, no one understands because no one understands each other.
Nobody's listening.
Listen.
And we're not listening to respond in an appropriate manner. We're not listening to understand what the other person's thinking, what the other person's feeling. And as soon as he opened his mouth, and he said, I don't remember what she said. She said exactly what we're all thinking.
I gotta use
doesn't listen to me.
And I will use it to help fix the problems.
That's how you fix that. And
yes.
And because what happened was he ended up showing him, oh man, I'm not listening. You're right. I wasn't paying attention to what she was saying. And it opened up his eyes to understand that I have to take a step back.
Learn, brother and sister, right. Learn. I'm learning today.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah.
So it worked the same way with her. I told him, okay, now I'll forget what she said. I want to see what you have to say. Right. And he's going and he's saying this and he's complaining. And I'm the man of the house. When I come home, I need the food on the table. I need this. He's not thinking, well, they both work full-time jobs.
She's not a slave. She's not a slave. She's a partner.
But he's not saying anything like this. He's not repeating anything like this. He wasn't really paying attention to the whole situation. He thinks, well, I saw my dad like this.
Oh,
I saw my father. He
Allah.
came home and the food was on the table. And that was a different time. Now we live in a time where, unfortunately, you need double income to have a house to pay the rent. It's not as easy as it was back in the days.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. And so he was going and going and going. I said, okay, I want you to repeat what he said. I told the wife. Well, I heard little pieces, this and this. She couldn't repeat everything he was saying. They were both not paying attention to what each other was saying.
And my wife or husband, wife, in order for my kids to be straight.
Absolutely.
The other things, a lot of kids now, today, well, somebody came and told me, by the way, we need Brother Mohammed to speak about the kids, the majority have, mashallah, 8 kids.
Mashallah.
And all of them, they do drugs and drugs and drugs. In the same time, they have this kind of problem. But how to fix this kind of problem? Here's our wife, of course.
Here's the thing. I don't think people understand the power of good communication. When you teach your kids how
good communication, the parents with their family, with everyone.
Well, with just the fact that of the power of listening, right? The power of listening, and when you teach these kids how to properly listen and understand and gather the information of while that person's speaking, you'll have kids who will grow up to really understand how to really change the world for the better.
Allah, yes, I
right?
agree.
And so when you, because when you look at these kids who go to these protests, or these kids who they try to make these statements and who try to say certain things, I always tell the kids, if you're not a good speaker, don't go in front of the newscasters when you're at the protest. Don't embarrass us. Don't make us look bad, right? Because a lot of kids go out there, they're angry, they get hyper, they get excited, but they don't know how to really communicate what they want to say in a positive way. There's a way of talking to people especially when you're on the news or you're on social media. Once you say something on social media, it's there. You're never getting rid of it. It's there for life, right? So I try to explain to them, like, learn how to really teach your kids how to listen to the questions that they're being asked and get knowledgeable in that subject, that area that you want to talk about.
Yeah, very important,
right?
Yes.
When you talk to somebody about, let's say you're talking to somebody about Islam, and these people just know what they see on social media or what they see on the news. Islam is scary. Islam is this. Islam is that. When you're bringing, that's why I try to bring the right people to my events. That's why I try to bring Rashid, brother Rashid, or sister, like the people I try to bring to the events with the non-Muslims are the people that I know can articulate Islam in a positive way. Right.
In fact, he invite us to go one of the event with the police department, a new department. And actually, we met the mayor, with the people, we speak to the people. We are Muslims. How to prove ourselves with our attitude, our behavior, how to deal with others.
Yeah.
And da'wah.
And I can't do it because I'm at work or whatever.
Yeah, your job.
So you bring the right people to the right places.
I like that, yes.
And then you can articulate what I can't or what I'm not allowed to in a better way. Right? These people, they've never really met Muslims, and they're not going to be able to really know what a real Muslim is unless you show them a real person who knows how to explain what Islam is all about.
Yes.
Right? When we take them to the masjids, when we take them to the different dinners or the different things that we do or the different events, I get asked questions all the time about, what is that book over there says, Muslims love Jesus. What is all this about? Like, you get these questions. Don't talk to me, talk to him. He can answer all your questions about Islam, about Jesus, and about everything you want to learn. He's the guy to go to, right? And that's kind of what I want from the younger generation. Learn that really good technique of listening and communication skills.
Yes.
So that way, when you do graduate from high school, you do go to college, you do start working, whether you're working in a corporate office or you're working in a dental office or you have your own doctor office, you'll be able to really communicate better with your patients, with your students, with your people, on a whole different level. Once you start to see that, like, if you have problems between your marriages with your kids, really, really understand that the majority of problems with marriages, with kids, or with anything is communication. The lack of communication.
I agree with you, brother. It's very, very important. I just mentioned brother Mohammed. I deal actually with wife, husband, and for divorces. And every problem, husband and wife, discommunication.
Yeah.
And then all of that. At the same time, both don't want to speak. That's why I make rules.
Yeah.
The rules. If you want to be judge, you have to listen to her, listen to him.
Absolutely.
And if you want any, just write it down. That's supposed to be. Listening is very important. Wallah is a secret to fix your life and your household.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a couple of things that really I notice in couples that break down a marriage, and it's the biggest thing is communication, finances, right? Money.
Yeah.
Everybody knows money is like the root of all evil, right? We know that if the man's not making enough, or there's not enough money coming in, or you live above your expectations, or about I have this thing when I go to the families and I say, always live below your means.
Yeah.
Right. You make $50,000 a year. You live like you're making $30,000 a year. That way you're saving, you're building, you're taking, you still have something going on. You're still surviving, but you're not overdoing it, because then you're going to start to live higher, or you meet your cap, you're going to stress yourself out. That's when the stress starts happening.
Yeah.
Right. And so I tell people communication is number one, and finances. Understanding that, I know maybe some people come from a higher end household where they have their dad's got them everything, or their mom's bought them everything. Well, yeah, now you have a husband that can't get you all that stuff. So are you going to be able to adapt to that situation? And if you're a woman that can adapt to that type of situation, Allah has blessed you. If I'm a husband that has a wife like that, Allah has blessed me.
Yeah, indeed.
right? And so you talk to each other at the beginning of everything, right? That's why when I do like premarital counseling. Did you explain to the girl that you're about to marry that this is your means, this is how much you have, this is how much you make, this is what you can expect?
That's a very important point.
Because
anybody, even adults, when they get married again, for example, they get divorced or get again, male and female, it's good to understand your couple before you have the relationship. Yeah, because you're gonna have a wife.
You're gonna have a
husband,
responsibility
in a house. Well, yeah, I agree with you.
It's a big responsibility. And I always tell them, explain to that person that you're talking to that you're not a guy who can provide the, a 5-10 bedroom house and a brand new car. No, tell that person the truth. Lay everything out there.
The key is the truth.
The key is the truth. And you have these people, oh, well, I'm in love with him. Well, I'm in love. No. Love goes away.
Actually, overnight, after the relationship, the love is gone.
It's not about just love. It's about everything else.
Yes.
Right. Yes. Communicating honestly, truthfully, and really understanding, are you able to adapt to the situation? Right.
Subhanallah, brother Muhammad. Allah Azza wa Jalla يقول سورة الروم آية number 20. Actually, every marriage, we had marriage yesterday here. The ayah, if we understand the ayah, our life in relaxed. Allah ومن آياته, that my sons, and جعل and خلق لكم من أنفسكم, and are created from your own self, and أزواج, husband and wife. What? لتسكنوا إليها, to live inside each other. Allah, second, best place, second. But husband and wife, the contract, but Allah is the witness. It means second, we live inside each other. That is very, and also mawadda, another one, mawadda wa rahma. Passion, love, understand, listening, and mercy among you. It's very important.
It's very important. And what amazes me is, subhanAllah, like we talk to these husbands and wives when they're going through problems, when they're going through issues. And then you have the husband who says, well, Islamically speaking, I have, and then the woman said, well, Islamically speaking, well, hold on, you guys already violated all Islamic rules.
Yes.
You can't pick and choose.
Yes.
I mean, you've heard this many times.
Absolutely,
When you're
trust me.
When you're going through these couples and they start throwing Islam this, Islam says that, Islam says, well, hold on, you guys already, threw Islam out the window. If you want a guy who's going to get Islamic, let's go Islamic all the way. And if you follow Islamic ways, there won't be no problems.
I was probably actually in South Korea with an imam. When I'm sitting with them, sitting with a couple, okay, and then Islamically, and that online, fatwa here, read the Shaykh, read.
Yes.
I say, all this, I read it, I understand it, but you want to fix the problem, forget this online, Shaykh
Google.
Shaykh Google.
That's what they do. Or they send each other, mashallah, they send each other TikToks, Islamic TikToks. It says the woman's role is this, the man's role is this. Okay, that's not going to fix the situation.
No, it's destroyed.
It's going to make it worse.
Yes.
And so when you that's why I always say, get a third person that doesn't have, like if you stay married or you don't stay married, I have nothing I don't achieve nothing from this. But having a third person, not a family member, that's probably one of the worst things, is getting a family member involved when you're having big problems.
Yeah.
I've seen that a lot where, the husband will get his father and mother involved.
It depends about the family.
It depends on the situation. It depends on the family. But I always say, before you go that route, before you get your parents involved and your mother and fathers involved, get a third person involved, right? Get somebody from the outside to read the situation.
But hold on. Something important. Brother Muhammad, Allah said, حكما من أهلي وحكما من أهلها. A judge from your side and a judge from their side.
But when it gets to a certain point.
But you're right with that. Yeah, but at least if the ahl, the family, decent family, not attacking, not listening.
Yeah, and I get that, but it's hard to find.
Indeed,
it's hard to find, because when you look at the couples that are going through these arguments, you can see what those couples came from.
But in America, actually, in Europe, actually more than the Muslim country, I believe so. Why? I didn't see it. I lived in Gaza before the war, in 3 months. We don't have this kind of problem in Gaza.
Well, because you have to remember, in overseas, they don't have like what we have here. They don't have such, I want to say like liberal,
my way, all the highway.
that mindset. You know, these kids they're watching these videos that tells them how to be a man. Like they watch these guys who say, I'm the prime example of a man. This is how a man should be. They don't have that overseas.
Yeah.
Like if you look at the social media, like look at our feeds that we're watching compared to what they're watching over there, compared to what they're watching in China and Japan, where they're watching proper etiquette, how to be a real man,
yes.
culture. They're watching all this stuff over there compared to the stuff that they're watching over here. And unfortunately, our generation, 40-year-old, 45-year-olds, 50-year-olds, they still watch that stuff as well, and it messes with your head. The more times you watch something,
very important point here.
Yeah, the more times you watch something, the more it's gonna affect you on the inside. Yeah. Right? You see, you know, and people don't realize that they keep watching this stuff and they keep watching this stuff, not really understanding that you saw the same type of video at least 5 or 6 times. You don't think that's going to affect you?
Absolutely, yes.
On the inside, you're not going to feel some type of way?
No question.
So what I try to explain to them is while you're going through these arguments, while you're going through these issues, let's put the phones down. Put the phones down a little bit, just for a couple of weeks until we fix this. Don't watch social media. Because believe it or not, the phone listens to you. And I explain this to the kids in the schools.
Ya Allah.
I explain to the kids.
Repeat this second.
Your phone is constantly listening to you all the time. Right now, it's listening to us. It's listening to our conversations. It's listening to what we're saying. And it's hearing the words, key words that come out of your mouth. And so when you're going through an issue and you have your phone out and your phone's listening to you, what do you think is going to pop up on your TikTok and your Instagrams?
Your conversation.
Your conversation, something that has to do with whatever you're going through. Yes. Right? And we all think, oh my God, it's a sign from Allah, subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah has given me. I said, no, it's Shaykh Google listening to you and knowing that you're going through a problem with your wife. And he's going to show you things of how to be a real man and how you should tell your wife. This is how you talk to your wife. Yeah, this is how you tell your wife to be a woman. You know, this is how you. So I tell people, just trust me when I'm telling you this. Our phones, our TVs, our laptops, everything's listening to everything that we do out there.
Allah.
And so if you're not cognizant, if you don't understand, if you're not aware of that, you're not going to know really how to deal with what's going to happen and what you're going to see, what you're going to view. I see all these things, I understand these things, so it doesn't really impact me as much. I use what I see and go educate the rest of the people out there about, and especially the children, because the children don't realize that when you play a certain video game for so long, when you watch a certain video for so long, you become desensitized to these things. Right? Think about it like this. How long has this been going on right now in overseas? What is it?
16 months, 18 months.
So
18 months.
And the understanding is that, oh, khalas, you know, people die. Right? At first it was like, oh my gosh, mashallah, subhanallah, look what's happening.
You're right.
Now you see it where people are like, oh man, they just killed another, 15 kids. Oh, they just
today's 50 kids today. Mm-hmm. And 50 more for 50 man with hunger. But see, they got us to a point where it's okay. It has to happen. It's normal. They've normalized this kind of stuff. Yeah, wow.
And we can't let that kind of stuff be normal, right? And so when we talk about that aspect, that kind of stuff happens. You fix that kind of stuff from the house, right? So on a bigger scale, our kids can go up and move up and grow up to be better communicators, to be better listeners, to be better educators, to be the people that really need to make that change, right? For the positive. Supposed to be.
Yeah.
Right. But when you have people with their egos that are they don't want to let go, or they think the world revolves around them, it's not going to work out, and you won't be able to fix the problems on the inside. And that happens a lot with families, with couples, especially.
But the key, the listening, understand. And also we have to understand what is the main problem, what caused the problem. And every disease, there's a reason for the disease. Every disease. Husband, wife, kids, also there's some disease, you have to fix the disease to fix the problem. That's my opinion.
Well, and it's funny, when you go to a family, you ask the people, what did you try to fix this? What did you try to fix the issue that you guys have? Well, we tried everything. Oh, mashallah, you tried everything. Right? That's the one I get all the time. Is I tried everything, brother. I don't know what else to do. And when I sit down and I listen and I hear and I gather all the information that I need, I give them okay, listen, brother, let's step out of the house for a couple hours. Let's go out and have a communication. Let's go talk a little bit. Let's go have a cup of coffee. And you talk, well, brother, listen, what's the definition of insanity? Right. Well, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting different results. Right. It's like you just keep doing the same thing and thinking if I keep doing this, it's going to change. It's not going to change.
No, it'll make it worse.
Makes it worse. So I said, brother, everything I heard you say is the same thing. You tried the same thing over and over. It hasn't been working.
But with all my respect, this actually again and again and again, mostly with my problem with the people community, females. You have to repeat the same statement maybe 10, 20 times in one sitting together. The same story again and again. I see this with the sister more than brothers.
I've seen it with both.
Yes, maybe because I deal with the divorce problem.
Yeah.
To fix the problem.
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah, it's a marriage problem. Not marriage.
It's an all-around male and female problem.
Yes, but the key, regardless, male or female, we have to fix myself before my wife before your husband, before your son and daughter also. You know, a serious problem now in public school, even Islamic school. Alhamdulillah, that's major. But also, if you cannot understand the situation, what's going on around you, you lose.
Yeah, you have to know that there's people around you. There's a whole another world you're not the middle of, right? Because we always think, as an egotistical person, that the world revolves around me. It's Muhammad's world, me. I don't want to care. I don't care about anybody else on the outside. And we've taught our kids that as well, right?
Yeah.
Look at that brother over there. Don't be like him. And look at that sister over there. Don't be like her. Well, instead of saying these things, let's say, hey, how can we fix and help those people going through what they're going through?
I agree.
We don't know what those people are going through. So now you've already put it into your kid's head, in your child's head, that you don't want to be like that person right there.
No.
Right? So when you've already established that, now that kid's going to grow up and think, I don't want to be like that person. I don't want to be like that person. Not thinking, well, maybe that person's going through something. How can we fix that? What can I do? What can I do as a Muslim, as a brother? Because us Muslims, we're supposed to be helping each other.
Yes.
Right? We're supposed to be helping each other. We're supposed to be caring about each other. No, the best of us are what? The one who loves for his brother.
No, the hadith of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when something you love for yourself and give it to your brothers, that's better than the whole world in your hand.
But we don't do that. We don't practice that.
Some
of us, but what as a whole, right? As an ummah, I think that's where I kind of push the most from all the masajid that I go to. I always try to explain to them, I don't care where you're from. I don't care if you're black, white, Asian, Chinese. I don't care about that. What I care about is that we're Muslims, right? And if you see a person in your masjid that needs some help, or that has an issue, or that looks upset or looks sad, because you walk into the masjid, sometimes you'll see people not wanting to say anything, right? And they just stay quiet, or they just they're making dua, or they're praying, or they're just sitting by themselves. Ask the brother, what's up? What's wrong?
Yes.
What's going on? And you maybe you might be that person.
Yeah.
That can really benefit that guy or that female that's going through something.
Yeah. Hadith Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, man assa al Muslim, whoever Prophet Muhammad said that, not me.
Yeah.
If you make it to help a person, Allah will help you with something in the dunya and the akhirah. بمن يسر على مسلم يسر له. Allah will make it easy and simple for him in the dunya and the akhirah.
And you know what? You say that, and I see that. I see it because it's funny. You see, you give a brother $20 or $30 to go get something, or you grab a sandwich for somebody to eat, and then subhanAllah, the next minute or the next day or 2 days later or 5 days later, you get something back.
SubhanAllah.
Or something comes up and they say, hey, I'm going to give you an extra $100. From where? SubhanAllah, like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala might not even give you the cash, but it'll say, well, here, instead of paying for this air conditioner $1,000 to fix, we're only going to charge you $200. That it's kind of like it's you do good, it comes back.
Allah is the provider. So don't worry about tomorrow. Allah is the provider. Allah is the Razaq. Allah.
Absolutely. And I seen it. I felt it. I lived it. And I try to explain to people, like, it's not just a saying that the Prophet said. It's true.
Yes,
it's true. And we're not going to be able to to free any country or any of our people if we can't fix ourselves up first.
Absolutely. Allah say, لا يغير الله ما قول. Allah will never change a nation until حتى يغيروا ما بأنفسهم, until they change themselves. Allah did that.
Absolutely.
It's very important, brother. I have to fix myself to fix the others.
Absolutely.
Start from your household.
Teaching the kids how,
especially the kids.
Yeah, how to, and as a father, as a mother, learn how you're like, watch yourself, listen to yourself, hear yourself talking, and see the reactions of the faces of the kids, right? Watch the reactions, watch how they interact with you, right? Are they scared all the time, or are they not caring anymore? Like what's going on? And if you keep doing the same way, talking the same way, doing the same thing, it's not working.
Plus, if your child actually home and house do the same thing, and you quietly let it go, he will grow up like this.
Yeah.
Because he approved.
Yeah, absolutely.
Approved, yeah.
And now we're talking about summer, right? Summer is coming.
Oh yes, yes.
No more school.
Starts
tomorrow, I believe. Over here, at least tomorrow.
Yeah, our school started. Finish. Yeah.
So when we talk about the summer, now you have the kids with you.
That's very important. Yeah.
You have the kids with you full time now.
Yes.
They're going to be stuck unless you put your kids in a summer camp. And inshallah, if you put your kids in a summer camp, I really pray that you're putting them in an Islamic summer camp.
Exactly.
Right. Our kids need constant.
Oh, by the way, non-Islamic schools for the summer, especially the summer, they go, number one, they get a lot of movies, a lot of games, and a lot of games. The boys become girls from the summer camp, and girls become boys.
Yeah,
summer camp.
It's not just the kids in those non-Muslims, it's non-Islamic environments. It's the people that are in charge of those.
Indeed, absolutely.
Summer camps.
The people in charge. Yeah.
I know, just because you live in Florida, and I've been in. I put my kids in summer camps. I put them in Islamic summer camps. I put them in non-Islamic summer camps. I put my kid in a soccer camp before.
Watch.
And I saw the difference.
Yes.
It's a big difference of how my kids would come home. Right. And, subhanAllah, it's such a big change. And I know a lot of times people say, well, the Muslims, the Islamic schools, they're not organized as public schools are. They're not as organized. They're not as well put together. They're not as, and you know what? I work in both. I work with both.
But the reason for the Islamic school, the salary, there's no money.
There's no money because, as a nonprofit organizations, as a summer camp, and you tell people, oh, you got to pay $200 for your kid or $300 for your kids. It becomes expensive, which I totally understand. I totally get. And sometimes, hopefully, you never know. Maybe one of the brothers in the masjid has money he can put towards a scholarship.
Some people, especially in our masjid here.
No, mashallah, so they have money, but they hold on tight to that money. They don't want to.
Yeah. Allah is the provider.
I mean,
Allah is the provider. So don't worry about tomorrow, inshallah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But inshallah, Brother Muhammad, Eid is coming. Our had go back to summer. Summer started today in our school. Some people next week. And then New York actually after 1 week. The key here, whoever in the summer, take opportunity for your son. I need idea, some opportunity to share something with your kids. I know, may Allah provide you all, brother and sister. Most likely husband and wife, they're working. Husband and wife, but still you can make a plan. I have a plan for both of them couple. They are working. They come back after 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, PM. But the kids home.
Yeah.
And a lot of babies actually they go to like a nanny or somebody can check out.
Yeah.
But we want really to make the kids actually in the summer, especially. So just mention that actually very important.
Summer's coming up. You have to remember this.
Now our school here in the Islamic school last day, and actually book a return too.
Yeah.
And finish. My point, the summer, how to make my household is the paradise Jannah.
You have to really. It's exhausting.
Very important, brother and sister.
As a parent, it becomes really exhausting because now your kids are going to be home all the time. You're going to be working. The kids are going to be eating all the time, right? They eat. They go to school. You don't have to worry about it. You pack them a lunch and then they're good. But they eat all the time. They're at the house all the time. One of the biggest things I've actually told a couple of parents before is I told them, explain to your kids where you came from. Right? Have a sit down with your kids. Try to make time in the evening when you have you know, you come home at 5, 6 o'clock, where you can have like a game board or play something where you can, while you're playing with them, while you're talking with them, you're telling them where you came from, telling them about your history.
And especially in dinner.
Especially in dinner time.
In dinner time.
You talk to them about what you've been through.
Well, that's very, very important, brother. Dinner has to be husband, wife, and the kids together. Family. If only mom, there's no dad, mom and her kids. The father have no wife. Father, and we have to have if dinner together, breakfast together. You know, normally lunch you are working. Allah provide.
If you're and think about it like this, and this is for everybody here. If you're busy talking to your kids, guess what they're not doing?
Yes.
They're not on their social media. They're not playing video games. They're not in their rooms. If you just take the time to really start to like talk to your children, and I tell people, like, especially I tell the new ones that have like these 9-year-olds or 10-year-old kids, it's not going to happen like this.
No.
Step by step. It takes time.
Takes time, yeah.
Because you're trying something new. It's not the same old.
Yeah.
Right. And when you
changing,
yes. When you're changing something, that takes time to really develop it into a habit.
But also to change something they like.
You're going to change something, and you're going to talk to them, and you're going to explain to them, and you're going to see how those kids really adapt and change. Because kids are better than us when it comes to change.
Oh, yes.
When it comes to change, they change faster.
Yeah.
You know, us adults, you know, we'll say, "Oh, I talked to my kid for 3 days now, and nothing's changing."
There's no way possible.
But these kids are like, "Oh my gosh, you know, my mom and dad, you know, mashallah, they're starting to talk to me more. I didn't know my dad went through this. I didn't know my mom did this. I didn't know." So they're thinking this way, the kids, and the parents are like, "Oh, 3 days, and they're still not changing." No. Keep going.
Yes.
Keep going.
Takes time.
Because it takes time for you to see what's really happening in their heads.
There is nothing overnight impossible.
Nothing.
Step by step.
Nothing. And you take small steps, and you start to see. And so I tell people, keep your kids busy during the summer.
No. Yes.
Right. Like, keep them on their toes. Keep them cleaning. Keep them working. Take your kid out to go wash the car.
Cleaning also is very important. Our kids to clean your room and clean with you with the kitchen.
Absolutely. Clean the kitchen. Clean the living room. Teach them how to do certain things. Teach them how to do the laundry. The basics.
I'm learning.
I'm going to talk to your wife.
No, actually, she insisted to do it. But I was alone, actually, like 2 3 in South Carolina. I do the same thing.
But see, teach your kids how to do laundry, so when you have to be alone like this guy, they'll know how to do laundry.
Yeah, the reason actually I don't, I learned actually. I have 5 sisters in Gaza. May Allah give victory. And me, an adult, I'm the only one. My mom, I have 5 sisters. Ibrahim, even tea. My mom make tea for your brother. But and I came to America, I cannot do anything. But alhamdulillah, my wife, Jazakallah khair, I cook with her, I clean, I vacuum together. Except laundry, she do that.
Alhamdulillah. She doesn't want you to mess it up, that's why.
I did it actually. I don't know.
But these are the simple things that we talk about with parents, where it's the simplest, dumbest thing. You don't think about it. You think, oh, I just want to get it over with. I want to do it so I can get it over with. If I show my kid how to do the laundry, it's going to take an extra 20 minutes. Well, guess what? If you're spending the extra 20 minutes teaching your kid how to do laundry, guess what your kid is not doing? You're keeping your kid offline for 20 extra minutes.
I like that, yeah.
If you're teaching your kid how to fold laundry, oh my gosh, it's going to take 30 more minutes to fold the laundry because he keeps messing up and I have to keep training him. Yes, but 30 minutes now he's not online. You just spent 1 extra hour. You just took your kid off of that game or off the online for 1 extra hour by doing laundry.
Yes, I agree. Yeah.
How simple is that?
So laundry took 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours sometimes.
Yeah. Well, it takes you that long, not a lot, not the most of us. I don't know where you're doing your laundry.
I know how to fold, but not to wash.
I think you're doing the laundry in the hurricane or something. It's just going this step away or something.
Yeah. But alhamdulillah, Mohammed, for that. My kids actually adults, and we are, me and my wife. But the key also really to make our household, especially Eid is coming very soon, inshallah, to make our house always Jannah, paradise.
Always.
Especially to listen to your kids, husband, wife, father, mother. Listening is very important. It's a magic. In fact, listening to each other, it is make the person love you more.
Absolutely.
Why?
You're right.
When I have a couple,
I'm glad you said that. You're right.
Yeah. When I had a couple problem with a husband and wife, believe it or not, sometimes Allah is my witness. My rules, listen to each other. Listen, I make up. After one, two, the he, she, and after that, the problem is solved. Many times,
same thing.
the problem solved when they listen.
Absolutely.
I'm just listening.
That's it. No talking, just listen.
I would somebody like this go to the Bahama, have with a cruise and have fun together.
Absolutely.
I have more kids.
But you're absolutely right. And what amazes me is people don't realize that how simple your problems can be solved if you just listen to the other person. And also going on the topic of forgiving, right? Kind of just moving on.
Again,
forgiving.
Yes.
Stop holding those grudges on each other, like holding 3, 4, 5 days, not talking to each other, 6, 7 days, 1 year of not talking to each other. I'm talking about brothers, sisters, moms and daughters, and fathers and sons who don't talk to each other for X amount of days and months and years.
Yes.
Learn. Well, what are we doing?
Hadith Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, a beautiful hadith. قال لا يحق, there's no rights to make يهجر أخاه, to depart away from his brother or sister 3 ليال, 3 days. فيعرض هذا ويعرض هذا. This person come and she or he come together. The best one, Prophet Muhammad said that, the best one to apologize, even he's right, the one he started, I'm sorry, may Allah forgive me. That is the best thing. Brother, yes, we have to forgive each other. We make mistakes. We are a human being. We are a human being. If Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, also another hadith, قال كل ابن آدم خطاء. Every human being خطاء, make mistakes. The best among them make tawbah. Go back and fix the problem.
Absolutely.
Yes, brother and sister, especially now. Eid is coming. Make this Eid a Jannah for everyone, bro.
Sure.
A lot of people in Eid come, anxiety, and then dress this. No, just take it easy. Take it easy. Hadith Rasul قال إن هذا الدين يسر. Our deen is very simple.
Very simple. Very easy.
And he said, not only say, do not make it harsh.
Yeah.
And whoever make it harsh, you break yourself.
Absolutely.
That's Prophet Muhammad, not me.
And I hear a lot of non-Muslims who tell me that, oh, being a Muslim sounds hard.
Strong. Yeah.
And you hear the non-Muslims when they tell, well, what's hard about being a Muslim? Well, you can't eat pork and you can't drink alcohol. You can't. Well, you're not supposed to drink alcohol anyway. Any religion says that. So, yeah, but this religion, we changed it to the times, to adjust. Well, no, Islam doesn't adjust. You adjust to Islam.
We have a lot of research, the pork diseases, and to eat the pork, and also the liquor.
Yeah,
but we kill each other because
there's nothing that comes good out of alcohol, and I can tell you from when that happened last time, when the lady came after my family and she was drunk.
Yeah,
and she was going off and off about hijabs and prostitutes and all this stuff that she was saying. And I explained to my kids, this lady could have been a teacher, could have been a doctor, could have been a lawyer, but because she was drunk,
she become corrupt.
Look what she became.
Yes. Alhamdulillah, we know we're not doing that. No, alhamdulillah. Not even smoking. No one is smoking.
Nobody in here smokes.
No one is smoking. Alhamdulillah. No vaping. No. We are Muslims.
Alhamdulillah. And we also have to work on our forgiveness of our understanding.
Yes,
and
forgiveness. Forgive each other, because if not forgiving each other, Allah will judge us.
Well, we don't. I mean, who are we better than Allah? Like a lot of people think Allah forgives.
His name Al-Ghaffar, Al-Ghafur, the forgive one. Al-Afu.
But we can't forgive each other.
Yeah, we are human beings.
And you go to the masjid and they're fighting with each other from something that happened 2 years ago.
Now SunnahFollowers here.
Not SunnahFollowers, but our at least our masjid. It's amazing to me how you hear these people talking, you hear these board members speaking, you hear these people trying to justify why they do what they do, and not realizing that what you're telling me is haram. Like you're a board member at the masjid and you're telling me these things, and I'm going to tell you, I'm not a perfect Muslim. I'm far from being perfect. I'm not. I make mistakes all day long. But I know what you're telling me is haram. And when you're telling me I don't talk to that person, or we don't let that person, or we don't like those people, those certain people because of this, and this, you can't justify that.
Yes.
You talk to each other, explain to each other. You explain to each other why we don't do certain things. Right? That's how you bring people closer to Islam. That's how you get people to open up their own masjid and start their own masjid. And now we have a black masjid over there, a Pakistani masjid over there, a Bengali masjid over there, a Palestinian, a Yemeni masjid. MashaAllah, we have all these different masjids.
With our masjid, I see another 1.5 miles. 1.5 miles. And come to door here, no one there. Go door, no one there.
But then you go to the temple, and you have one temple where all the people live around it, and they go right there.
May Allah guide us to the right path. And so, brother, we are fasting. Everybody fasting. Everybody in SunnahFollowers also fasting. Today is Monday, and plus the Hijjah today. Alhamdulillah. So continue. Prepare. If you have a question, this matter, prepare it right now before, inshallah, to finish with brother Mohammed. Inshallah, prepare. Before I had to prepare myself for a breakfast too.
He's a little hungry right now, so yeah.
I'm not hungry, but I want to eat something. I have to go to the masjid. Yeah. So my dear brother and sister, Eid is coming.
Eid's coming, and we're in the summertime at the same time.
The summer. We are in the summer.
We are in summer now.
We are started summer,
and we're lucky. We have Eid during summer.
Do you think the family, with just a few minutes before the summer, do you think the family in the summer can do something together?
Absolutely.
Something.
Absolutely.
They be positive here.
You know,
we want to do something for our kids, for our husband, wife, family, and in the summer.
I will say, because I know for a fact a lot of us don't have a lot of money, right?
Okay, a lot of us, we don't have the money.
We don't have the money. So I always look for free or cheap stuff to do.
Cheap stuff.
Or free.
Okay, or free.
Because we have a lot of city parks.
City parks?
City parks are free.
Yes.
You go to the city parks, they have swings, they have all the playgrounds, they have fields, you can kick a soccer ball in. There's so many things that you can do and I have to explain for one of my people. I was talking to them, he wants to take his kids here, take his kids there, take this. I said, your kids are like 5 years old, 6 years old. They're not going to know where you're taking them, and you're spending all X amount of dollars taking them to these fancy places. They're not going to know. What they need is the time with you.
This is about people have no money.
And that's what that's what I'm trying to explain to you. Save your money. Even if you have money, save it. Save. Just spend the time with the kids at a park, at the community pools. There are so many different places and things that you can do with your kid that you don't really need to spend a lot of money on. Go get a soccer ball from the dollar store and kick the soccer ball around.
Yes.
There's so many things that can happen. Go get a board game, Scrabble or something. Scrabble is a good game board. You can teach your kids words while you're teaching them. You're talking to them. You're playing with them. You're explaining to them what this word means, what this word means. You're educating your kids. You're talking to your kids, and you're hanging out with your kids. What I keep telling people is this: the more time you spend with your kids, whether it's outside or in the house, the less time they're going to be on social media. The less time they're going to be playing video games. You want to fill that time up with something that you both like and you both enjoy. And if you don't like anything they're doing, try to adjust yourself to what they like. Well, I don't like basketball, but I force myself to play.
Yes.
With my daughter. She loves basketball. Okay, let's go play some basketball. I don't like basketball. I'm a soccer guy.
Me too. There's my thing alike.
Yeah, and I twist my ankle when I'm trying to shoot a basketball, but that's not my thing. But let me change. Let me do it.
My habit.
Let me force myself to do it and be watching the smile.
Yes.
Watching. So I know other parents were like, well, my kid, he only likes to do this or he only likes to do that. Well, then do it.
Join
them. Try it. See what's going to happen. See, you don't know because you never tried, because you keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. You keep trying to push your kid to like what you like. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. You keep trying to push your kid to something that you like to do when your kid has a different, our kids are all different. We all want to treat our kids different at the same way. No, each kid is different. Right? Fine. My daughter is in basketball. My son is in soccer. Oh my gosh. How can I do both?
Mm.
Right? But you do it. You figure out a way to do it.
But you figure it out. It's a matter also to make your son, your daughter is safe.
Absolutely.
Safe, yeah. So prepare yourself, inshallah, when I finish early, because I have to prepare my breakfast, inshallah.
You want to finish up? Finish up.
Yeah. Huh?
You want to finish?
No, not here, inshallah. But brother and sister, also, let's be positive. Now, how to make really the summer here for the kids, actually, I mentioned that we're going to start something positive. For example, start from 5 years and down, and 5 years and 10, and 10 to 15, 15 to 20. we need some plan for people to have enough money to support the games and this and that and that. Yeah, sometimes maybe you have the ball maybe in a dollar store, $1.
Any kid from the age of when they can walk until the age of like 18, 19 years old, they love to run. They love to run. Kids love to run.
Yeah.
It's weird. They love to run. We don't like to run after we hit a certain age. Our knees start to crack when we start to run.
Yeah.
But these kids like to run. So any park
Any park
that has a field, just run, race.
Yes.
You know, teach your kids how to run. Right. I'm actually trying to teach my own son how to run faster. Right. I'm watching the videos. I'm trying to learn myself how to teach him how to run quicker for soccer. Like you can do stuff, very simple things that are free out in the parks.
Yes.
And it doesn't matter the age group, 5 years old, 8 years old. I guarantee you a 5-year-old is going to love running around in the park with his dad.
Yeah, I agree.
Or with his mom.
I agree.
An 8-year-old, I guarantee you an 8-year-old is going to have a blast running with his mom and dad in the park.
Alhamdulillah. So we have a plan.
I will say though, a 15 and 16-year-old might make fun of you. As a dad, they might make fun of us when we're trying to run with them.
Oh.
Right? Because, at that age, they start to laugh, they start to joke, they start to make, everything's funny with them. So watching me run with my son, he probably cracks up laughing at me.
Don't worry about it.
And I laugh too. I laugh too. I'm look how old I am. My knees are,
MashaAllah.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah, brother and sister. Any questions, Sunnah Forward there? I think everybody
Sleeping.
No.
They're all fasting. They're all fasting.
They're fasting too. Alhamdulillah. Well, brother, inshallah, maybe next Monday, you speak about the summer. Boy, the summer started in some cities. Today here in our city, school summer finished. Use your area. I think next week.
No, we started already.
We started
today.
in your actually